The shuttle's warning system blared as Kieran Suvin struggled with the controls, his knuckles white against the yoke. Okamrio's atmosphere battered the craft's hull, transforming the violet sky outside into a chaotic swirl of colors. Warning lights illuminated the cockpit in crimson as the primary engines failed. "Not like this," he muttered, yanking the emergency thrusters into action. The ship bucked violently, nearly throwing him from his seat. Through the view screen, he glimpsed the planet's surface, a vibrant tapestry of bioluminescent forest pulsing with ethereal light. As the shuttle plunged through the lower atmosphere, auxiliary power dwindled. Kieran spotted a clearing in the glowing canopy below, a valley that might provide sanctuary. He had no time to hesitate. The ground rushed up to meet him as he fought to position the dying craft. Impact. Metal shrieked. The world spun. When he regained consciousness, Kieran found himself hanging upside down in his restraints, blood trickling from a cut above his eye. The cockpit had crumpled around him like a crushed container. Outside, darkness had fallen. "Perfect," he growled, releasing his harness and dropping to what remained of the ceiling. "Just perfect." The emergency hatch groaned, but finally yielded to his shoulder. Kieran stumbled into the alien twilight, his boots crunching on debris. The air hit him first, sweet and thick with unfamiliar scents. Then came the light. Every plant, from the towering trees at the valley's edge to the smallest ground cover, emitted a soft radiance. Blues and greens dominated, with occasional bursts of gold reminiscent of fireflies. The effect was mesmerizing, almost hypnotic. Kieran shook himself. Wonder wouldn't keep him alive. He needed shelter, supplies, and a way to signal for help. The shuttle's communication array was destroyed, and his personal beacon had been damaged in the crash. He was effectively cut off from civilization on a world that had been abandoned by researchers decades ago. He salvaged what he could from the wreck: emergency rations, basic tools, a portable shelter unit. By the time the sun had fully set, he had established a camp near the crash site, using the shuttle's broken hull as a windbreak. A small power cell provided heat and light, though it seemed almost redundant in the glowing forest. "At least the view is nice," he said to no one in particular, checking the cut on his forehead in a piece of reflective metal. The wound was superficial, but it would leave a mark, another scar to add to his collection. The night deepened, and the forest's luminescence intensified. Kieran found himself studying the patterns, searching for logic in the way the lights pulsed and shifted. There was something almost deliberate about it, as if the entire ecosystem was engaged in a vast, slow conversation. Movement caught his eye, a flicker at the edge of his camp that seemed different from the ambient glow. He reached for his sidearm, then froze. A figure stood in the shadows between two luminescent trees. Female, humanoid, but clearly not human. Her hair cascaded like liquid moonlight, moving in currents that defied the gentle breeze. Her skin appeared to capture and reflect the forest light, creating patterns that rippled across her form like water. But it was her eyes that captivated him. Golden, intense, and unmistakably intelligent. Kieran kept his hand near his weapon, but didn't draw it. "You know," he said, keeping his tone light despite his racing heart, "most people knock before dropping by." The figure tilted her head, studying him with those remarkable eyes. When she spoke, her voice carried both melody and power. "Most people ask permission before crashing onto someone else's world." "Fair point," Kieran replied, shifting his weight and noting how she tracked his movements. "Though in my defense, the crash wasn't exactly planned. I'm Kieran Suvin." "I know who you are," she stepped forward, and the light seemed to follow her. "Your reputation precedes you, artifact hunter. We've watched your kind before, taking what isn't yours to take, and you are Auralia." The name rippled through the air like the patterns on her skin. "This is my home, my people's sanctuary. We chose isolation for a reason." Kieran noticed she had moved closer, her movements so fluid they seemed almost predatory. "I'm sensing some hostility here. Should I be worried?" "That depends." A smile played at the corners of her mouth. "Are you like the others who came before, the ones who tried to strip our world of its secrets?" "I'm just trying to survive until I can contact my people," Kieran said, though he couldn't deny the familiar surge of curiosity that drove him. "But since you brought it up, who are your people? The survey said this world was abandoned." Auralia's laugh was like crystal chimes. "And you believed what they told you?